There's a lot of fucking assholes that come in gyms and they don't know the proper etiquette. And I have to say something to them usually. And but I thought I might put it on video, some of the gym etiquette that you should remember. And the first thing, of course, is to be courteous to the people in the gym unless they're total assholes. And then you can go off of that. But if you're using a piece of equipment and somebody wants to use that equipment, they should come over and ask you if you're going to be on it longer or when you're going to get off. They could ask you if they can work in with you.
Speaking of gym etiquette,
which you can say no. If you want, you don't have to let people work in with you.
What is
and
this,
if they get pissed off about
tutorial?
it,
why?
they get pissed off. Brad,
gonna call the police.
I'm doing a fucking video.
why don't you show some good gym etiquette, Brad?
I'm gonna call the police on you.
Brad,
if you look like Frankenstein, put a mask on before you come in. There's some etiquette.
Anyhow, Brad, of course, has some mental issues. Anyhow,
hey, when in Rome, Richard.
Right, he's one of these people that when you see a guy like that in the gym who's bipolar, you stay away from him. Anyhow, so if someone's using a piece of equipment, sure, you can ask them if you can work in with them, but most people don't want you to work in with them unless it's some kind of cable piece of equipment, you know. They'll tell you how many sets they got left and then you can work in.
Brad's lurking.
Just if you say no, doesn't mean that you're an asshole. You just don't want to work in with somebody. You don't want to keep changing the weight or whatever the fuck. Anyhow, also don't touch the equipment.
It does mean you're an asshole.
Don't touch the equipment if the person's using something. Like if I'm on the Smith machine, stay the fuck away from the Smith machine. Don't put weights on and off it. Don't come near me. I'm using that piece of equipment. I put those weights there. Stay away from it. If I'm finished with a set, you can ask me, can I use that 25? If I'm not using it, I'll say sure. But otherwise, stay away because I'm trying to concentrate on doing my sets and I'll jump down your throat. The other thing is if you sweat on the equipment, wipe your fucking sweat off. Don't be lazy. Don't be a frickin' pig. Wipe it off. Is it that difficult to wipe it off? Bring a towel, or they have towels. You know? Anyhow, yeah, Brad keeps taunting me in the background. I'm going to have to hit him in the head with a 25-pound weight. Put him out of his misery. Anyhow, so, you know, that's what you want to do. Those are some of the things. There's a lot more as far as...
what about when somebody steps in front of the mirror when you're trying to use it? Let's say you're curling and you want to watch. Like, look at Brad right there curling.
Right. Big mistake. If you're using the mirror or they see a bench in front of the mirror with your equipment, they know that you're using that area. If you're not using the mirror, fine. But if you're actually using the mirror, using a bar, and you want to look in the mirror for some reason to make sure you're beautiful or that your sets are correct, then they need to get out of the way. And you can tell them politely the first time, hey man, I'm standing here, I'm using this mirror. And if they look at you like a deer in a headlight, then you can get in their shit and explain to them the proper gym etiquette, that they're fucking morons, okay? And now I'm old school, so in the old days we would leave 45-pound weights on the bars. To me that's not bad, but if you leave 2 45s on each side, that's wrong. Because this gym, you got people that can't lift that much or they want to take it off.
That can't lift a lot of weight.
Meanwhile, for a guy my age, I'm stronger than most of the guys in here. They've got small penises and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. The other thing is, you see, they have weight trees. First of all, this is a weight tree right here. This is where the weights go. They don't go on the equipment. They go on the weight tree, okay? And they don't go on the floor so I can trip and break my neck. Plus, you've got two racks here. One's for an easy curl bar. This is called an easy curl bar. See this? That's called an easy curl bar, and that's a straight bar. Well, guess what? The straight bars are supposed to be on one rack, and the easy curl bars are supposed to be on the other rack. But people, for some reason, they're either blind or they don't know geometrics, that one is different than the other.
How does the weight, do you go heavy to light or light to heavy?
It doesn't matter. It should go light on the top and heavy to the bottom, but you can't teach people that because they just dump it.
No, because if you bend over to grab the heavy, you pull your back, you put it up higher.
If you pull your back out by grabbing the heavy, you shouldn't be in the gym.
Correct.
Yeah, go to one of these women's gyms and jerk off in there. You shouldn't be in one of these gyms. You know, you bend your legs and pick up the heavy weight, you know? That's the way it is. Am I right, Caesar? See, Caesar knows. Anyhow, Brad, just listen, Brad. I'll
Come
teach you.
on, I want to hear it, man. Let's hear it from the expert.
What about calling the police on a fellow gym member? When is the right time to do that?
They called the police on me and threw me out of here because I complained about a guy that didn't wipe the bench off with his sweat, and he told me to wipe it off. Now, you can't get into a fight in the gym, otherwise they'll throw you out permanently. But he was egging me on. I was getting ready to say, okay, let's go outside, motherfucker. But I will not say anything to somebody unless I'm right about gym etiquette. A lot of guys that work out here, and you can tell they haven't worked out much, they're pigs. They don't put the weights away. They dump weights. When I say dump weights, not 100-pound weights.
Some of them are from a third world country, and they've never been in a gym before.
They dump 25-pound weights.
They're used to lifting like 5-gallon buckets in their backyard.
That's true. That's true. But still, if they don't know the proper etiquette, then they shouldn't argue with me. They should say, well, explain to me what you're getting at. Or listen to me. Don't argue with me. Wipe off the sweat. They know better, believe me. And they know better to put their weights away. You don't leave weights or you don't leave bars on the ground so people can trip over and break their neck.
What was it, yesterday?
Yeah, I tripped on a 45-pound bar somebody put on the floor. That's not cool. I didn't see it. I'm talking to somebody.
Pretty cool, actually.
No, but I'm just saying. But as far as calling the police, unless you're getting into a fight with somebody or whatever, people tend not to like me, because if I say something to them, they don't want to talk to me anymore. And I don't say anything to anybody specifically. I don't care what color they are, what race, what nationality, what creed, anything. If they sweat on the equipment, or they don't put their weights away, or they're abusing the equipment, I'm going to say something. And when it comes to abusing
gym police, that's what I used to call them back when, the gym police.
Yeah, he's like the hall monitor back in high school.
Right. Also, there's people in here that abuse the equipment. Oh, here's a typical example. See this spring collar? This doesn't belong on the weight tree. It's a collar. Weights belong on the weight tree. The collar, put it on the frickin' ground, unless they got a bucket to put the stuff. It doesn't belong here because this is where the weights are.
Well, the only bucket we have here gets vomited in by Jay.
Right.
I don't think you want to put it in there.
I understand. Now, when you have benches, let's say you're finished with a bench, pick it up, put it over here where the benches are supposed to go. Is it that difficult to move the bench? No. You're in here to work out. You should be able to lift the bench. Don't just put it on the side so people can walk into it. Keep the walkways in the gym clear so people can walk around, so there's not a bunch of stuff on the floor.
What about in the locker room, when it's shower time? Don't walk around naked. We don't want to see your cock and balls. Put a towel over yourself. I was washing my hands the other day, and this
that has nothing to do with gym etiquette.
And
Brad feels that way because he feels inadequate. He sees these old guys with these big cocks, and he's got a little pecker.
What about filming posing videos in the locker room?
Yeah, and with piss stains all over your shorts.
No, here's another one of my.
Yeah, how about having your shirt off in the middle?
Here's another one of my pet peeves. Yeah, that's because the guy's got an ego thing. He wants to show off his body. But another one of my pet peeves is the guy comes over, he wipes off the equipment with disinfectant, and then he takes a towel, instead of walking over here where the garbage is, fucking 10 steps, he dumps it on the floor and leaves it, and leaves the gym. He leaves towels on the floor, and it's disgusting. I guess that's the way they live, in squalor, but you know, I don't understand it, why people do that. This is the first episode of gym etiquette, and we're going to add to this as we go on. Also, you know.
Hey, how about parking in the handicap spot when you're not handicapped?
That's out of the realm of gym etiquette in the gym. We're talking about in the gym. You want to talk about etiquette in general? Yeah, there's some guys that have handicap. Brad brought up a good point. There's guys that come in here that work out, lift weights, heavy weights and stuff, but they park in the handicap spots.
He doesn't lift heavy weight. He just looks like
well, they park in the handicap spots.
I guess we're not mentioning names, are we?
Well, there's a lot of guys. There's one guy I jumped on him. I said, hey man, I watched him walk in. I said, you're parking in a handicap spot and you come in here and working out? I said, what the fuck is with you? He says, oh, I got that from my wife who's dead. And I said, so you still want to work a park in handicap? You want to make it 10 steps closer to the front door of the gym. I said, you're a jerk off. I got on his ass, he stopped parking in the handicap spot. You know?
Speaking of gym etiquette, Brad just jumped on my machine. Brad.
Huh? I'm working in with you. I don't have to ask. I do what I want. Richard can blow me. Yeah, I'm
not my type. Not my type.
That's not what you said earlier.
Anyhow.
Hey, I want the seat put exactly to the way it was before. Right now. Now. Huh? Do it. I think it's one notch too high, Brad. One notch lower, Brad. Now, let's say there's a chick in the gym and you're eyeballing her and you want to strike up a conversation. What's the right way, the wrong way? What's the big Richard approach?
Hey, let me smell your snatch.
No, that's the Brad approach that gets you nowhere fast. No, all you do...
That works 50-50, that works.
What you do is...
You get slapped in the face or you're getting laid that night?
After she sees you in the gym and you see her a few times, you say hello to her. You go very slow and you say hello to her. You get to know her.
Very slow.
Get to know her, you know. He has an approach that will get him just his hand jerking off. He's not going to get, you know. Yeah, my other friend met this girl in the gym, and she was pretty hot. He goes out with her, and she's a full-blown transgender. She had the operation, everything. He didn't know this, of course. So he's fooling around with her, and he starts to get it on in the missionary position, and she keeps spitting on her hand and rubbing herself with it, evidently to lubricate herself, because she doesn't have natural lubrication because she had a dick there once. So it fucked the guy up. The guy's fucked up now. He told me he had to go see a therapist to see if there's something wrong with him. I said, there's nothing wrong with you, man.
Talk to Lenny.
There's nothing wrong with you. Well, Lenny would have, you know.
That's disturbing.
How are you? Listen, your buddy Brad, he's picking on me.